Good evening, everybody. Uh, Happy Tuesday evening, and yeah. So after work, I came home and then I didn't write today. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Monday. Today is Monday, right? Yeah, happy Monday, happy Monday evening. Yeah, I didn't write because last weekend, I mean, like yesterday, Sunday. Yeah, I wrote like 10 pages, so I need some break from writing. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. Writer's break. I need break. Yeah, so I read a book. I mean, I'm still reading the same book, the Rage by Bob Woodward. It's about President Trump's White House, right? Yeah, interesting book to read. So very unflattering. Yeah, I guess Mr. Bob Woodward is a Democrat, so the way he portrays President Trump is very unflattering kind of way of. So I read biography of President Trump. This one kind of autobiography. Uh, those like the art of deal making, whatnot, right? Those are very flattering account of President Trump. I mean, Mr. Trump, but this Mr. Bob Woodward. Oh man, yeah, I guess he's Democrat. Mm, well, that's fine. Mm. So what I noticed by reading this book is that President Trump himself, well, yeah, sure. And people he's around him, they're all elites. Okay. they're so what's the definition of elite? Uh they're like people who work harder than others, I guess. Right? Yeah. Career oriented. People work maybe twice as hard as other people, right? Uh yeah, they typically have fancy education in fancy schools, right? Um like Jared Kushner, right? Yeah, he went to Harvard. President Trump, he went to UPenn, right? And Mike Pompeo, yeah, went to Harvard, right? So those elites, typically they are like this. They're uh, professors, elites, academic elites. They're good students and they're good teachers. They're like kind of like taking the role of librarians. They're good learners and they're good teachers. Okay, professors. We need people like that, right? Uh, about Mike Pompeo, Jared Kushner, President Trump, the elites who work very hard, probably twice as hard as other people all their lives. Uh, they're hardworking people, but the blind spot is that they're not creative individuals because they are too busy learning. Okay, and so they don't have time to think on their own. But people like me, I'm not sure about you. Okay, but people like me, there are some creative individuals like just like Miss Herr Arthur Schopenhauer observed. Yeah, some individuals are more like relaxed and they're kind of creative individuals, like Rene Descartes, right? Who have a lot of time thinking about things on their own, more creative individuals. Okay, yeah, society need, I guess, both type of people, like yin and yang. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, mm. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of half and half. Sometimes what happens is like musicians back in the days or even nowadays, musicians, artists, uh, they're very creative individuals, but art, music it doesn't pay the bills unless you're very famous with it. Okay, struggling artists, writers, struggling writers, struggling musicians. So typically they have secondary jobs to pay the bills and do writing, acting, art, fine art, painting, music as a side, as a hobby. Okay, if it becomes very big, then yeah, they can go full time on artistic endeavors. All right, yeah, that's the kind of approach I've been taking in my life. Yeah, when I was acting, I was a computer programmer. Um, I was making a movie. I was a computer programmer, and now I'm writing all these scientific or philosophical papers. But I have a lawyer job, right? I'm a lawyer, so that's what I do for to pay the bills. Okay, yeah. But because some of us we are very creative individuals, yeah, we it's like our passion is in like art, music, dancing, acting, or science, philosophy, writing, right? But if I have that as my job, full time job, would it be still my passion? I don't think so. I will start looking for something else. Okay. When I was a computer programmer, in my spare time, I studied law. When I was in the U.S. Army, in my spare time, I studied law to go to law school and to become a lawyer to pass the bar exam. Okay, that was my hobby. But now that I'm a lawyer, I spend like 40 hours a week doing lawyering. So the other 40 hours in my spare time a week, I want to do something else. No, I cannot do one thing 80 hours a week. That's not me. So that's why I'm not an elite. I do not want to devote my 80 hours a week in single subject. I cannot do that. I need some balance. My full-time job, one thing. In my spare time, I want to do something totally different. Now there's this science, philosophy, humanology. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Right? Yeah. Okay, we'll take 5 minutes break. Okay, and we'll talk about. Maybe we keep on writing screenplay or whatever. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like drinking because drank too much over the last weekend. So yeah. No, I'm not an alcoholic. Yeah, I know how to control my drinks. Okay, so let's talk about Dr. Fauci. Okay, sorry about my hair. Yeah, he's not popular among Republicans, right? Because like the German writer Goethe, he wrote about Faust, right? So it's like Dr. Fauci, like it's like Faustian soul selling. Like so that's how many Republicans see him as. Like somebody who's very self-serving, right? And at the expense of general public. Yeah, that's general view from Republicans about Dr. Fauci. Okay. Yeah, he's not popular among Republicans at all, right? So many Republicans demanded President Trump to fire Dr. Fauci, but President Trump hasn't, and he won't. Why? Because Dr. Fauci has become too powerful, so he cannot touch him. All right. So yeah, President Trump. Yeah, he's kind of old, right? But I've seen so many old people with good judgment. But President Trump, yeah, he deserved to be unelected. Okay, and I think American may have been right not to have voted for him. Why? Because reading this book, The Rage, yeah, I can see where he made big mistakes. Okay, we cannot blame everything on Dr. Fauci. Okay, Dr. Fauci, he just went along the mainstream majoritarian view, the COVID-19 alarmism, which isn't just America, it's everywhere in the world. Okay, except Sweden, except a few other countries like Brazil, President Bolsonaro, I think, and some other countries. Okay, they adopted what's called herd approach, whatever. I don't like the name, okay, because herd, join the herd, that's like joining the mainstream, right? But it's oxymoronic, okay? A few countries, they didn't do anything mandatory lockdown. They didn't do that, okay? I think that's the best approach. I would call it evolution approach, survival of the fittest approach. All right. Yeah. I think that it would be better that way. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand the general approach to COVID-19. Yeah. I've read many articles about it, heard a lot of radio news. So yeah, slow down the spread so that hospitals don't get overwhelmed all of a sudden. Maybe read in that book, The Rage. I don't know. I read somewhere. Maybe on the radio talk show. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Slow down the spread, even if the COVID-19 spread everywhere to everybody eventually. But if we slow down by social distancing, lockdown, and mask mandate, yeah, so that hospital capacity, limited capacity wouldn't get overwhelmed. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so maybe it wasn't too bad what they did. Doctors, politicians, okay. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't too bad. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, some commentary about American diet. Okay, so Americans drink a lot of coffee, but coffee is not good for heart, and I think heart disease is number one of the main cause of death in America, right? So I think it has to do with coffee and also fatty, sugary diet too. Okay, so yeah, and but we say cause of death, right? But if somebody dies in their 90s due to heart failure, that's not heart failure, heart disease is not the cause of that person's death. If this person died in 90s, why? Even if it was not heart, it could have been kidney failure or lung failure or brain failure. It could be any failure in person of 90s. So that's natural death. It's just organ failure. It's aging, death from aging. All right. So when people classify, when we read the statistics, like heart failure is the number one cause of death, we should take that as a grain of salt. Why? Because some statisticians, they're not quite smart. All right. So because aging, death from aging, that's the cause. Okay. So if somebody died from like when they are 80s, 90s, the cause should be classified as just aging, not heart failure, not lung failure, kidney failure. Okay, because one organ will fail no matter how healthy this person is. If this person hit 80s, 90s, right? It's just natural lifespan of human being. Okay, so they have to reclassify that. Okay, I admire statisticians; they're hardworking people, but it's just that we are smarter than they are. Okay, yeah. So, um, yeah, I had some healthy discussions with my friends, more academic discussions because, so yeah, American health issue. I think Americans are doing fine. Okay, I do smoke cigarettes. I drink alcohol. Is it better than sugar and fat? Maybe not. Maybe it's about the same, right? So it's just different choices in life. What we do during my spare time. Do we eat food in our spare time? Or do we drink and smoke cigarettes during our spare time? Right? Maybe they're equally bad. Yeah. So when I write about COVID-19 at some point in this paper, fifth paper, yeah, I write about exercise, diet. All right, yeah. When people are not healthy, medical industry make a lot of money. Like pharmaceutical companies, insurance industries, doctors, nurses, hospital administrators, they make a lot of money when people are sick. Hmm? Now, when people eat a lot, food industry, agricultural food industry, they make a lot of money when people eat a lot. Okay? So medical industry and food industry, they benefit when people are unhealthy. So then do they want people to be unhealthy? Maybe they just don't care enough about people's health. How about politicians? Do you think, yeah, we're kind of generalizing it. It's kind of like exaggerating it, okay? Kind of caricature, right? We're not saying everybody's that bad. No, we're just dramatizing it, okay? To make it more interesting. Politicians, do they really care about people? Or do they only care about their political career? Okay? When they impeached President Trump for whatever, did they impeach President Trump for the best interest of American citizens, or did they do so in a partisan politics, self-serving motivation? Because did slow down, it did cause a lot of distraction, and when they tried to impeach President Trump, he couldn't do his job because he spent so much time and energy defending himself to survive the impeachment inquiry, right? Of course, I mean, otherwise, what would have we done? Well, building southern border wall, I agree with that, but messing with China, right? Yeah, very counterproductive. Yeah, sadly so. Yeah. So yeah, Americans fired him, right? President Trump, he'll be out of office next year, so I have mixed feelings. Okay, some parts of him dearly like, some parts I don't. So I kind of mixed feeling, but I can understand Americans not having voted for him. I mean, many people did, but most didn't, and I can understand that. So many editorial cartoonists, they say VP Biden got elected because he's not Trump. So it's not about VP Biden's merit, it's that he's just lesser of two evils. Which typically presidential election boils down to, right? Sadly. Yeah. And we know why, because politicians to be successful, they need to spend a lot of time with people. So they don't have time to study. So when problem comes, they have no idea how to solve it, and they surround presidents or elites. They surround I mean, elected officials. They surround themselves with elites, very hardworking people, but they are the kind of people who lack creativity, right? So they don't have creative solution. Like President Trump's advisors, they're all elites, very hardworking people. And those are the kind of people who have no time to think things on their own because they're too busy to get way up there, like to go to like top schools like Stanford, you have MIT, all those fancy schools, okay? So they work harder than others. But that's not quality works. That's quantitative works. They may be working on reading all the books and then write a long report to the president of the United States. Like I'm talking about his people, his employees in White House. Okay, but they don't have a good solution. Why? Because they don't even understand the problem. eh? They're not creative individuals. Okay, the elites in Washington. So Mr. President Trump did not quite replace Swamp in D.C., where he replaced with some other elites. They're pretty much the same kind of people. Okay, he did not. He did not drain the swamp at all. Look at all the people surrounding him. What, Mr. Jared Kushner? So he drained Washington D.C. swamp with what, his son-in-law? How about Mike Pompeo? Yeah, he's Harvard. Okay, he's elite, total elite. Which is not bad. They're hardworking people, but they're kind of distant from everyday Americans. We are not like them. Okay, so do they really care about us, the rest of us, or do they care about their own career? It's kind of disconnected from the rest of us. Okay, there's the problem with elite-driven politics. Okay, misalignment of interest, conflict of interest between elites who are very career-oriented, many times, not always, but many times self-serving, right? And the rest of us, the rest of us. Right? Yeah, President Trump's his people, they're all the same. Okay, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter much who becomes the president. Okay, president job is very much a non-essential business. Okay, very much so. It doesn't really matter what they do up there in the White House. Okay, because they, in reality, they are not the people who run the country. It's the rest of us, like 99% of us, who go to work, who make actual production, right? Goods and services, products. We are the ones who run the country, not them. They're just celebrities. It's an act, it's a show, it's just entertainment. Very symbolic, right? Yeah, what they do up there, it doesn't really impact us very much. It's not that important. President's job or the White House people's job, that is very non-essential business. Okay. And look what President Trump has been doing for the past 3 weeks. Try to overturn the election result. He's not doing anything useful, right? But country runs just fine, right? It's like that. Right? He just trade war with China. That's very counterproductive. Okay. So what he does, any president, what they do up there in White House is very non-essential business. Okay. It doesn't matter really. How ironic, right? All right, we'll take 5 minutes, baby. Okay. So, all right. All right. Okay, let me drink some wine. Wine is fairly weak drink, so yeah, I mean light drink, so I think it's fine. Okay, this one's done, and this vodka is done. Huh? So, um, yeah, we realize this dilemma, right? People like me, who study, think about solution in the world, problem in the world, and solution in the world. I don't get elected because I don't spend enough time with people. But the solution is I keep on running. So every 2 years, then, and each time when I run, my name recognition increases just because I'm running and running and running again. Maybe over time, I will get enough recognition to get elected for something. Okay. And along the while, I will keep writing and publishing all these papers, right? So, so that's the plan basically, right? Yeah. When I was campaigning for Alaska State Senate primary, the Republican Party, um, some people did offer me to donate their money, but I said, well, thank you, but no thank you, because if I take money, well, first of all, according to election law, which is totally overdoing in my opinion, I I'm required to publish in governmental website donors name, address, and their employer. If they donate me more than like say $50, something like that, okay. If not, if less than that, then at least their name, something like that, something like that. It's this election law, okay. And so I don't want that because I don't want to infringe on my donors' privacy. So that kind of controversial figure. I don't want them to be attached to my name because I have very controversial ideas. Okay. Also, if I take donation money, I have to use it for campaign purpose, and I don't have time to use to spend money on campaign purposes because I don't do. Yeah, I did a lot of campaign, but and I had to make report, right? How did you use this money? The campaign accounting. Come on, and will I hire somebody to do so? No. And will I take volunteers to do campaign accounting? I don't think so. Okay. So I keep running the campaign without involving anybody, without involving other people's money. But I thank them though. Great, very, very much so. Okay. But I just want to keep my life simple. My life is complex enough already, and I don't want to work too hard. Yeah, I need a lot of spare time to be creative. Alright, and that's just my lifestyle. And people, I mean, the world need people like me. I don't know what kind of person you are. Okay, so I cannot speak for you, but yeah, yeah, the world needs people like us. Okay, creative individuals with a lot of free time who don't work very hard, you know, but yeah, who got some creative spirit. So yeah, Schopenhauer talked about that. Okay, leisure and creativity correlation thereof. Yeah, let me create beer. I bought some beer, so yeah, wine is a little bit too strong for my esophagus now because I've been drinking a lot for the long weekend last weekend because had Friday off, so I drank more than usual weekends. So yeah, that's why kind of been cautious about this drinking today, Monday. So yeah, yeah, I do control my drinking. Okay, so nah, no, I don't drink myself to death. I don't do that. Okay, yeah. What else? So how would I have done differently if I was the president? It's like this, okay? When there's a problem like COVID-19 or BLM, uh, it's a problem. So as a leader, if you solve this problem, then big success comes to you. Let's say you're the president of the United States, okay? But if you fail this problem and then you fail big, right? And you cannot control what kind of problem comes to you as a leader, okay? But if you are prepared to solve those problems with knowledge and you solve it, then you become a hero. If not, you become a failure like President Trump. Okay, he's not gonna go down in American history very well. Okay, because he failed twice, COVID-19 and BLM. Okay, he's decent. I mean, he talks about yeah. What about all my achievement before COVID-19? Yeah, the economy was doing great, but guess what? It was a castle built on top of sand, just like Jesus said. If a castle house is built on firm foundation, even when the storm comes in, it will withstand the storm. You see the analogy, right? Yeah, the storm of COVID-19 and BLM. American economy accomplished by President Trump, it was a deck of cards. It did not withstand COVID-19 or BLM. It just evaporated. Because Trumpian economics, Trumponomics, is not a sound economics. That's why it collapsed so quickly. Gone with the wind. Okay, so yeah, he is doesn't have very good knowledge. Yeah, he went to UPenn, but he transferred from somewhere else. Yeah, he went to UPenn. He did graduate, but he was an undergrad. He just had bachelor's degree. Okay, he spent what 2 years in UPenn, Wharton. I thought he had some MBA. No, he does not have MBA. He just had bachelor's degree. I didn't know. So this guy, he's just the way he talks give you impression that he went to Wharton MBA. He didn't. He spent like 2 years because he transferred from another school to UPenn. He spent 2 years in the Wharton, the UPenn Business School, as a bachelor's degree. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness, I didn't. The way he talks is kind of exaggerating, right? He doesn't understand economics. No. Then how did he succeed in business? He didn't. He lost 8 billion, $10 billion. He declared bankruptcy, right? When he earned $10 billion, he kept it. Oh, he's too advanced with bankruptcy law. And so he lost $10 billion. He earned $10 billion. So minus 10 plus 10, zero. He earned zero. Okay. So that's his business. He's not very good at business. Okay. He has good showmanship and he has good sense of humor. Perhaps some decent leadership skill too. Okay. And some charisma as well. Some wisdom too. Okay. So he's not too bad, but he's not too great either. He's kind of in the middle. Okay. Yeah. So when COVID-19 BLM problem came to him, he could not. It was bigger problem than his capacity to solve. That's why he failed. But then, do we think Mr. Biden would have handled better. It could have been worse. I don't know. We'll see. We'll give him 4 years. Let's see if he does it better than Trump. Because he will encounter some other problems. Not COVID-19, not BLM. Next year, it will go away. COVID-19, BLM, it will disappear. But Mr. Biden, in his 4 years, he will encounter some brand new problems. Let's see if he can solve those. Let's see how good it is. Because how good he is, I don't know. I don't know. My impression, I don't think he's any better than President Trump. Possibly worse, or about the same. Okay? But he could be better. I don't know. Okay? I don't. Alright? But I know he can be very smart. Okay? Biden. Okay? So because before he got nominated for Democratic Party, I wanted him to get nominated. Why? Because I thought he was the strongest candidate in Democratic Party. I did support. I mean, I kind of wanted him to be nominated because I thought, in my mind, he was the only equal to Trump among other candidates. Okay, yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, how good he is next 4 years. Really interesting to see. Well, we'll take 5 minutes, I guess. Maybe it's better. I don't. So, yeah, during my lunchtime, I ran on the frozen lake. You wanna see the pictures? Yeah, I can show you pictures. Yeah, it snowed, but Arctic wind blew away all the snow, so it was just ice. But 1 to 2 feet deep, frozen lake. It's my annual ritual, winter ritual, where I run on the frozen lake, take pictures. Yeah, deep froze, right? It's pretty. Yeah, because I do push-ups on ice with my gloves on these days because last year it damaged my skin. Okay, it was like cracking and just a little bit of bleeding too. Okay, when your back of your hands like crack due to dryness. he was doing that. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, I just wear gloves. So no problem, right? Yeah. Frozen lake. About a foot deep, I guess. Yeah, it's just deep enough. Yeah, this entire lake is frozen like this, so there's no danger of ice breaking. No, no. But the danger is slipping on ice. Because I was just wearing sneakers, so when I run on the accumulated snow patch and then go on the ice, shh, very slippery for a while. Okay. So what do? I just slide like ice skating for a while until the snow on my sole of the shoes wear off. Then I start running again. Okay. So I know how to do this. Yeah. So it's about balancing, right? I train my body in that kind of situation, slippery ice, so that I have good sense of balancing, so that I don't fall and get injured. It's injury prevention. Okay, so let me turn off the heater. It's getting hot. Yeah. So yeah, it's about just healthy hobbies, how to spend time, right? Yeah, I do smoking, I do drinking. Okay, so I am not qualified to criticize people who spend time snacking. Okay, and gain some weight. I am in no position to criticize them. Okay, now I drink, I smoke, which may be even worse than sugar and fat. Okay, but education, okay, teachers in America, maybe they themselves have some snacking problem, weight issue. Okay, or even if they are not, would they teach their students to do exercise, regular exercise, and healthy diet? Because saying so may not be politically correct. It may hurt their students' feelings. Okay, especially females, because females they are very sensitive about their appearances and comment on their appearances. If if I were a teacher, would I teach those things? I think I would. Why? Because I know how. I am kind of trained as a politician. Kinda. Okay. I failed the election, but yeah, I did learn how to communicate diplomatically. Okay, that's one of many skills I learned during the campaign. Okay, I lost the election, but I didn't lose anything. I gained everything. It was a great training and education to me. Time, money spent. Oh, more than worthwhile. Yeah, I got more than full return on investment of my time and money. Okay, campaign, political campaign. I learned so much good things from politicians, activists, people in general, voters. Yeah, learned so many good things. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I guess screenplay writing. I guess it's pretty much done, right? Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I decided in the screenplay, right? Year-end vacation in Alaska. Okay. Yeah, I decided to stay, and they realized, yeah, they kind of snapped out of that groupthink mode. Yeah, they're just bored, so they wanted to kill me, scapegoat me, accusing me as a murderer. But later on, they realized if they do so, they'll go to jail. Okay, so animalistic thinking is this is very short term based. Okay, people who commit murder, people who commit theft, they just want to pour out the anger at the moment. They don't think about long term consequences, and they're just like animals. Animals do not think about long term consequences. Yeah, there's some squirrels who ants even who store food for the winter. There's long term planning, right? But there's more instinct level based on their genetic programming. But they don't quite think that. Okay. Yeah. So people who commit crimes, criminals, yeah, they're kind of like animals, animalistic. I think very short term thinking. If they feel bad, they become violent to get that negative copium out of their system, right? Yeah, crime of murder, battery, rape, whatever, horrendous things, right? And then, yeah, it's like hungry animals, okay, like rape, right? Without thinking long term consequences or without thinking about other people, they just do it. Why? They're just like animals. That's how animals are. When animals see food, they don't think, they just eat it, right? When carnivores see an animal, they just kill and eat that animal. Okay? Yeah, animals, they don't think, they just do it. So that's how criminals are. So to understand criminals, criminal minds, yeah, try to understand what animals would do in that kind of situation. Okay, so because criminals are animals, they're pretty much same level. Okay, I know it's politically incorrect to say this, but it's just how it is. All right. Yeah. Yeah, animals, they don't have concept of private property. This is mine, that's yours. They don't. So when they see food, they just take it. Okay? The criminals same way. They don't have this concept of ethics, law, legality. No, when they're hungry, they just take whatever food out there. They don't have concept of private property or ownership, respect, law. They don't have that. Why? They never learned it. Nobody taught them. So it's not their fault. It's just that they're born into that kind of neighborhood or household. They didn't choose to be born in that kind of household or neighborhood, kind of criminalistic places. They were just born there. Okay, so it's not their fault. Okay? Yeah, I'll write this down. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But today I wasn't ready to write again, so I didn't. Yeah, so I need some break from writing. Writing is intense, and I want to have a fresh mind when I write, not a stale mind. So yeah, that's why I didn't write. Okay, so in this screenplay, so they decided not to kill me and my character. Okay, in the movie. Then what do they do? Well, later on, so the observing psychologists they are satisfied. Okay, so they're not. Then they reveal their identities. Yeah, this was an experiment, and yeah, we are sorry. We are apologize. But as compensation of deceiving you, hurting your feelings like this, yeah, we'll pay for your room and board, your food, all the money you spent in this hotel for past 2 3 weeks. If we refund it back to you, we'll pay for it. So that'll be the end of the movie. Okay. So, and then yeah, people will come to apologize to me, and I'll be like, oh, no problem. We had fun. Yeah, it'd be a nice movie, heartwarming. Right? Okay, we'll take 5 minutes break and then yeah, we'll talk about whatever. Okay, so no. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can drink something stronger. I don't know if my esophagus has healed up or not. Let me at least try. May I? Alright. Yeah, I think I'm fine. Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch National Lampoon's Thanksgiving Vacation. I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation about a month ago, and I liked it. Yeah, Chevy Chase. Yeah. I think it was great inspiration for Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey learned a lot from Chevy Chase because acting style I can tell. Yeah, Jim Carrey he learned from by watching this movie like National Lampoon, Chevy Chase movies, and then he kind of made it better. He's got a next generation from Chevy Chase. Okay. That seems to be what happened. Okay, I can tell because I used to be an actor too. Okay, so I can kind of read the influence, imitation, emulation. Okay, education, and also yeah, there are some scenes in Christmas Vacation that I think Jim Carrey kind of copied into the movie Dumb and Dumber, like the fantasization scene, guy fantasizing about an attractive lady, skirt lifting, that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I can tell. Yeah, yeah, John Hughes, he's kind of like a little bit Abrahamic figure, just like the Ross Tolling in is it Ross Tolling or Ross Solling? I don't know. Yeah, the Twilight Zone series. Okay, heavily influenced and copied by later generations writers and actors. Okay, yeah. Yeah. John Hughes, Chevy Chase. Okay. Yeah. It kind of line lineage, right? You have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, blah blah blah. The descendant of Abraham concept. Okay. Yeah. In Hollywood. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, you have lineage in Hollywood, right? You have what Charlie Chaplin, and then you have Ross Starling, and then John Hughes, Chevy Chase, and then Jim Carrey, and then whoever. Okay, so, yeah. What else? Hmm. Well, in physics, yeah, you have Copernicus. Well, you have way back. You have like physics, mathematics. Okay, you have Pythagoras, Euclid, you have Archimedes, right? And then you have Isaac Newton, and then I mean before that you have Copernicus, Kepler. Uh, I don't know where Kepler is, when is, but then Galileo, Isaac Newton. But it's not Albert Einstein. Why? Because he got it wrong. Okay, so hopefully I replace him in this lineage of mathematical Abrahamic lineage. Okay, because Mr. Albert Einstein he got it wrong. Okay, for special and general relativity. For 100 years, again, people didn't know. Well, some people suspected, and okay, but I think I'm the one who definitely disproved it. Okay, I think so. So it wasn't very difficult. It was not very difficult to disprove Mr. Albert Einstein's special and general relativity. It just got test, got. All right, mathematically, physically, physics, mathematics, not very technical level that I have. My physics, mathematics in me is not that much. It's just undergrad, non-mathematics major, non-physics major level undergrad, some Bachelor of Science degree. Okay, but I was able to disprove. Okay, it was a lot easier to prove or disprove Goldbach's conjecture in mathematics. That I still didn't prove or disprove Goldbach's conjecture. That was way more difficult problem. But because I've been working on that Goldbach's conjecture proof or disproof for like 2 to 3 months, like a year ago, before I started tackling this Einsteinian special general relativity disproofs, I have built I had built a lot of intellectual muscle. So because I've been dealing with very difficult mathematical problem, Goldbach's conjecture, right? So when I tackled on special general relativity theories, oh, piece of cake. Okay, so that's another value of studying mathematics. It really strengthens your intellectual capacity, your intellectual muscle. Okay, although directly it's not related to real world problems. Okay, let me turn off the heater again. Let's just leave it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gosh, it's so dry. Really dry. Yeah. It's as if my throat is getting like dry. What else? Okay, So criminalism solution, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, they didn't learn to be a human being, so they stayed in animal level, started development. I will teach them, okay, in jail. Yeah. Even before they go to jail, we teach them too, and we use U.S. military. Okay, why? Why there are so many suicides nowadays in the U.S. military? Because they are bored. They got nothing going on. Okay, they are not doing anything useful. Why? Because we are not in wartime. It's foreign countries. Okay, so yeah, let them do something very exciting. Let them go to ghettos, inner cities, and then mentor them, teach them, work out with them. Yeah, running, cleaning the neighborhoods, right? Yeah, spend time with them. Yeah, I write about that too in the paper. Okay, yeah, for future generations' sake. Like Jesus said, share it with your brothers. Right? It's very simple maxim, but the solution to world problems is that simple. It's not money. It's discipline, metaphysical asset. Yeah, yeah. Let U.S. Army soldiers. Many of them know how to play guitar. We let them teach how to play guitar to those inner city teenagers. Spend time with them. Yeah, clean the street together, run together, to push-ups and sit-ups together. That kind of good stuff. So, yeah, we prevent crimes. No problem. Yeah. Yeah, so the elites surrounding President Trump, they may have gone to all the elitist schools like Mr. Jared Kushner, Mr. Mike Pompeo, but they don't have these kind of creative solutions, okay? Because they don't have time to think, right? They just work, work, study, study, study. Okay. If I'm the president, yeah, it will change, okay? Hopefully, you become president before I do, okay? So that I don't have to do all that stuff. By all means, become more famous than me. Be famous before I do, okay? And save the world, okay? So that I don't have to. I just sit back. I'd rather just sit back, okay? And enjoy watching you saving the world. By all means, okay? So I hope you do. I pray for you. Okay? Oh yeah, because I may never get there. And to be honest with you, do I really want to get there, be president of the United States or become very famous person? I kind of do want to, okay? Because I think it'd be interesting, but it's not too necessary. Okay? We'll take 5 minutes break, okay? So, all right. Okay, so quite recently, there was in the news in this November of year 2020. Uh, they got this humongous spruce tree from upstate New York to Manhattan, New York for Rockefeller Center for Christmas tree, right? And an owl came with it, right? So they took picture, and everybody's like, "Wow, what a beautiful owl it is! It's an adult owl, but it was very small species." Yeah, nobody on Earth would say, "What an ugly bird." No, everybody says, "What a beautiful owl." That's the evidence that beauty is not to the eyes of the beholder. Beauty is universal and objective. Beauty, aesthetic perception is objective. It's not subjective. Okay. I mean, but people, perhaps some feminists, would disagree with that because they may say it's politically incorrect. They may say social conditioning, all these models, fashion models, all right, kind of slender, toned, all right. They say it's just industrial social conditioning, but I have to disagree. That's why I don't subscribe to feminism, all right. Um, it's about biological response. It's about health, physiological health, reproducibility. So there's something very biological and objective and scientific perception of reproductive beauty. Okay, so let's put it that way, right? Because we don't want to use that S word, right? It's kind of demeaning. Reproductive aesthetics. Okay, better call it that. So yeah, what else in the news? Yeah, President Trump is finally giving in, little by little. Okay, so why is he so adamant on his attempt to hold on to power? I guess he enjoyed it. Okay, the power spotlight, being the president of the United States. He doesn't want to give up on that. The kind of title status, right? So he's kind of experiencing, he's testing his own medicine nowadays. All the contestants in Apprentice TV show, they did not want to get fired when they were fired by Mr. Trump. Oh, they're so sad, right? So that's what President Trump is going through now. He was fired by Americans, voters. Okay, so but he doesn't want to leave White House, so he's doing his best to hold on to his power, his position, his job. Let me turn on the heater. Yeah, I mean it's possible. There was some massive voter fraud. Some people say yeah, he's back from China because China has a lot of money, a lot of hackers, and President Trump does not like China, so maybe China funded this voter fraud, this computer software, and all the errors, hacking. There's some theory about that, okay? So, hey, it could be. Nobody knows, okay? But if you ask me, I think he lost fair and square because people, after 4 years, okay, President Trump changed quite a bit. Okay, he was not the same man 4 years ago. Okay, he kind of became arrogant, right? And his people get arrogant too. Surprisingly, even Mr. Mike Pence, former governor of Indiana, right? Yeah, I thought he was senator, okay, but he wasn't. He was governor of Indiana. So yeah, during the debate, I was kind of surprised to see that they kind of personality change after 4 years. Mr. Mike Pence, he was a very humble man. He gave us this impression 4 years ago, very humble Christian, right? But during the debate with uh, Senator Harris, yeah, I liked Senator Harris' performance better than VP Pence. Okay, people saw that when President Trump versus VP Biden presidential debate. Yeah, at least I like the attitude of VP Biden. I like President Trump's performance. It was funny, being very aggressive and ignoring all the rules. It was entertaining to watch, but that's just me. And for others, uh, he really, really performed very bad in other people's eyes. President Trump was just too rude, disrespectful. Well, VP Biden, he was more like mature man's response. Okay, and voters saw that kind of maturity in personality, character in VP Biden. Yeah, so I think it was fair and square. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I think the way I think why President Trump is holding on to spending a lot of probably all of his time in this to reverse the election result. Probably because he kind of lost interest in doing his job. Yes, lame duck president, right? So he doesn't want to do his job. Okay, he kind of lost interest. Probably he knows he lost. So he got nothing going on. He's not interested in doing this job as a lame duck president. So he got nothing else to do. I think that's why he's doing this waste of time, kind of wishful thinking of reversing the election result. Because he got nothing better to do. See, president's job is non-essential business. It doesn't really matter what they do. Country still goes on. Yeah, it runs itself by us, the rest of us, the U.S. Okay, I mean in America, in this country, in your country, I'm pretty sure it's the same way. Okay. Politicians, yeah, they're more like symbolic figures, like entertainers. Okay, and uh, they can make good difference. Okay, if they are really good at it, but otherwise, yeah, the country goes on, right? So they're not very as important people as they think they are. People think they are. I'm talking about elected officials, okay? Not very, very important people, okay? Not as much as people think they are, or they think they are, or they portray themselves to be. It's very much non-essential business, okay? So yeah, but yeah, they can make big difference though. Yeah, they've been good elected officials if you look in the history, right? Yeah, some politicians, statesmen, women made big positive differences in people's lives, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. In Korea, there is a king in Joseon Dynasty. Who are, some of them are my ancestors. The Lee, Lee Dynasty. Okay, my last name. Okay, yeah. there's one king called Sejong, right? So Sejong, they call him Sejong Daewang. Dae means big, Wang means king. Sejong the Great King. Okay, big king. Okay, not Burger King. Okay, so just Great King. Okay, Sejong Daewang. That guy's a smart man. He's very well educated, and he is very scholastic. He's like Solomon, King Solomon of Korea. Back then, Korea was one country. Okay, Joseon, the last dynasty of Korean Peninsula that lasted 500 years. Yeah, Korea's history, I think, is about 5,000 years. So 1/10 of Korean civilized Korean Korea as a country, 1/10 was this Lee dynasty. Yeah, my ancestors. Okay, so 500 years, the last dynasty of Korea. Okay, that's Joseon. And we'll take 5 minutes break. Okay, and then I'll tell some more about Korean story, history. Okay, it's very interesting one. Okay, so okay, let's take 5 minutes break. Ah, nice moon out there. So yeah, so a good politician, ideal politician, just like Plato, Greek philosopher Plato envisioned, is something like a philosopher, somebody like a scholar, like for example, in America, Abraham Lincoln. Okay, he was avid reader when he was poor. So his parents were poor. They didn't have many books. So according to biography of Abraham Lincoln, he would read these books, the handful of books that he had, again and again and again. Okay. Even after he became president of the United States, yeah, he studied military science. Why? He didn't know much about it. And as a commander in chief, he had to lead the generals who knew a lot more than he does in military science. So yeah, he had to catch up. So he went to library and he studied military science before the Civil War. That's Abraham Lincoln, okay? Very humbled himself, went to the library, even if he's president of the United States, and still a good student, willing to learn and study. Yeah, Aristotle said to Emperor Alexander the Great, I don't think he's great at all, okay? But yeah, there's no royal road to learning, right? Aristotle said that. Anyways, so yeah, King Solomon, okay, he had many concubines, right? Well, back in the days, that's how it was back then, okay? Yeah, polygamy, okay? He had a lot of women in his palace, King Solomon. But he is king of wisdom, knowledge. He studied, he's an avid learner, studied, good student. He learned a lot, right? And King Sejong in Korea was like that. What year was he? Something like 1400 AD, 1500 AD, something like that. Okay, so about 500 years ago, 600 years ago, all right, in Korea, when Korea was one country. Okay, the Joseon dynasty. Now, what he did was this: Mr. Sejong, King Sejong, 600, 500 years ago. He's a very brainy man, good student, avid learner, and he was very interested in linguistics and science. Okay, so he gathered the top scholars in Korea and then made this kind of this agency, governmental agency or governmental research institution with top scholars, Korean scholars of the day. And then he led this effort to create a Korean alphabet, Hangul. Okay, and they did. It's still being used in today in Korea. Hangul, Korean alphabet, is made from scratch under the direction of King Sejong. Okay, so he made huge difference as the king of Korea. Okay, he did inherit the kingdom from his father, of course. Okay, it's primogeniture back in the days, right? Yeah, the firstborn son of the king inherit the kingdom in the next generation, right? In the west, in the east, it's the same primogeniture. Okay, back in the days. That's just how it was back then. Okay, and the first son was my 19th ancestor. His name, oh my goodness, I should know better. What's his name? My 19th ancestor. Okay. What a shame, right? It's been a long time. Okay, of course I used to know. It's been 20 years, more than 20 years since I was in Korea. I mean, living in Korea, okay. Let me look him up, okay? Because I'm ashamed. But hey, I don't live in Korea, okay? I don't speak. Well, I speak Korean language when I talk to my parents, like twice a week, but what's his name? 양녕대군, I think. Yeah, 양녕대군, Prince 양녕. Yes, yes, Yang Yong. That's him. Yeah. So Mr. Yang Yong, Prince Yang Yong, he was the oldest son. Okay, and then he looked at his youngest brother, Prince Sejong, and he realized he's just smarter than he. Okay, and between Sejong, youngest son, and Yang Yong, oldest son, there are other brothers. Okay, and he convinced other brothers that, hey guys, that baby boy of ours, he's the smartest. So let's convince our father to give the kingship to him for the sake of Korean people because he's the smartest. And he managed to convince his brothers. But he could not convince his father because his father is old school. Uh, I think his father's name is Lee Tae-ge, Mr. Lee Tae-ge. Let me look him up. I don't know. I don't know. Lee Sung-ge. I think Lee Sung-ge. I think so. Yeah, let's go back to Wikipedia. Taejong. Yeah, King Taejong. Yeah. But I think his real name is Sung-ge, Lee Sung-ge, I think. No? I guess not. Lee Bang-won? Oh, whatever. Who is Lee Sung-ge then? Maybe it's some later king of Joseon dynasty. Okay, Lee Bang-won? Really? Okay, let me look his name up. Hmm. Okay, okay. So King Isongge is the first king, the founder of Joseon dynasty, and he has son, he had grandson. Grandson is the Lee Bang-won. So you have Isongge, and then Lee Bang-gwa, the son, and then Lee Bang-won. the grandson. And then his son is the Yangnyeong Daegun, and his brother Sejong. Okay, okay, so that's the great grandson of the first king of Joseon dynasty. That's Yangnyeong Daegun, my 19th ancestor, and then his youngest brother Sejong. Okay, okay, whatever. Some Korean history. Yeah, now I remember. Okay, come back to me. Comes back to me. Coming back to me. Okay, so this oldest brother saw his youngest brother, and he can tell he's smarter than he or the older brothers in between. So, but he was able to, as a oldest brother, he was able to convince all the middle brothers that hey, let's convince our father to give the next kingship to our youngest brother, and they agreed. What a contrast between Jacob's 12 sons. Like you have what, Reuben, you have Judah, then you have this dreamer, Joseph, right? When Joseph was, he was not the youngest. The youngest is Benjamin, right? Yeah, in the middle you have Dan, you have like Levi and whatever, right? Issachar and 12 tribes of Jacob, Israel, right? Yeah, but they, they sold their second youngest dreamer son, the smartest one, Joseph, as a slave to Egyptians, right? But in Korea, it was not like that. Okay? Yeah. We take 5 minutes break and I continue telling you, sharing with you this Korean history, okay? Very refreshing, right? Okay. Uh, Okay, so yeah, there's a history repeats itself, but what's applicable here is that this account of history, I'm repeating myself. Okay, why? I got nothing else to talk about. So I already counted this story, Korean history, this specific part of Korean history, like by now, like 5 times to you. I in this humanology series because by now, how many what's the episode? This episode like 500, 1500, 1400. We came a long way, and I started this humanity series like 2 years ago. Okay, uh, so yeah, thank you for being here with me. But most likely you haven't watched all those past episodes, and I don't recommend it. Okay, because it could be waste of your time. Okay, so yeah, most likely you haven't seen all those past episodes. Okay, so yeah, just me recounting these stories, no problem, right? Yeah, it's getting silly. Let me come back on the hero. Yeah, so this Mr. Yang Yong, okay, Mr. Lee Yang Yong, okay, he's my 19th ancestor, okay, or 500, 600 years ago, okay, yeah, that's about right, okay. So about 20th ancestor and each generation 30 years, right? So 30 times 20, 600. Yes, so imagine. I mean, what I'm saying is 30 years is about one generation. It means like on average, yeah, people have a baby when they are 30. Okay. About. Okay. Rough calculation. Okay. So rule of thumb. Yeah, I did learn that kind of calculation when I was in Korea. Okay. So each generation about 30 years. Yeah, average year age of first baby about 30 years or whatever. Nth baby. Okay. So on average. Okay. So now, so Mr. Yang Yong, yeah, he convinced his younger brothers to, yeah, let's give him the next kingship. Okay. And they said yes. He's the big brother, so yeah, younger brother, yeah, I guess they are reasonable too, and also very nice. Okay. Not a single one of them objected. Right. How many brothers in between? Maybe three, five, I don't know. Yeah, king has many babies because they have many wives. Okay. Concubines and whatnot. Okay. So I saw that Israel, the Jacob, he had one wife, was it Leah? And was second wife Rachel. And didn't she also have some concubine? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. Okay, so whatever. Okay, so uh, Mr. Yang Yang now is turned to is now the only person he need to convince is his father, the king, Mr. Lee Bang Won. Okay, oops, he's old school, right? He failed to convince his father to give the next kingship throne to the youngest son of his. So Mr. Lee Yang Yong, my 19th ancestor, he's smart. Okay, maybe not as smart as his youngest brother, but he's very smart guy, very resourceful. So what he did is this. Okay, he started drinking heavily, and he started philandering with ladies in court in the palace, Korean palace, 600 years ago. He started singing, dancing with ladies and drinking, okay, to convince his father that he's not fit to be the next king, okay? And of course, his father is no. dumb person. I'm sure his father, the king, the third king of Joseon dynasty, he probably knew, yeah, his oldest son that he want to bequeath his kingdom to. Yeah, he's acting, okay, he's acting, and then he relented and he decided to agree to his oldest son and gave the kingdom to his youngest son, and that's the youngest son. His name is Sejong. Sejong the Great King, Sejong Dewa. Okay, and it was a good decision. Why? I mean, he collected all those top scholars of Korea and led this effort of creating from scratch Korean alphabet. Before that, it's all very difficult Chinese language, old school Chinese, hieroglyphic, very, very difficult language to learn, very elitist. But so that's the hieroglyphic language, old Chinese, okay. But Korean alphabet is phonetic, just like English alphabet or Japanese alphabet, right? It's a fixed number of characters, like I don't know, it's 24, something like that. Vowels and consonants, fixed number of characters. The Kanadara Mabasa, Kanatara Mapas, Kanatara Mapasa, Aja Chakatapaha. So 14 consonants, vowels, aya, uyu, oyo, ui, something like that. Okay, so what 24 characters, okay? And it was a lot easier to learn for non-elites. Because Chinese characters, there are just too many. How many Chinese characters are there? I don't know. Maybe 1 million. It's a hieroglyphic language. In hieroglyphic language, one character corresponds to one word. Okay? But phonetic language, you have fixed alphabet system, like 20, 2,000, 3,000, right? And then you combine those alphabet letters, characters to make a word, right? Hieroglyphic language is not like that. And they are beautiful languages, okay? So Arabic, English, Romance languages, and Korean, Japanese, they are more like phonetic languages. They're fixed set of alphabets. Okay. Hieroglyphic languages like Egyptian, Chinese, Aztec, right? Uh, Mayan. Yeah, they're hieroglyphs. They're very beautiful languages, by the way. Okay, but they're very difficult to learn because there's just too many characters. Okay? Hieroglyphic languages, it imitates the real objects in the world, like bird, fire, sun, moon, right? And they tend to be very beautiful. Okay? Artistic. But there's just too many characters to memorize. Phonetic languages are a lot easier to learn because you fixed set like two, three dozens of alphabets. Okay? And or just you gotta learn is how to spell a word, vocabulary, combination, this permutation, sequence of alphabetical characters. Right? And Korea, yeah, this Mr. King Sejong, he and his scholars, they came up with that from scratch. Okay? Yeah, legend says they imitated the shape of mouth, like tongue, mouth, lips. Okay, so that's how they came up with Korean alphabetical system. Okay, that was one of many achievements by Mr. King Sejong. There are others in science, like clock. based on sun and the shadow and angle. Sun clock. And many, many other scientific inventions. He led that effort as the king of Korea, Joseon Dynasty. He made big difference, okay? So yeah, yeah. Politicians, kings, presidents, they can make positive big difference with their power. If they're smart enough, if they're well educated enough. Okay, so as opposed to just self-serving, money, power, fame, as opposed to that, if a very well learned person, like a philosopher or scientist, if they really care about people, they can make big difference. But even if they care about people, if their intellect is kind of short, shallow, then most likely they're not going to make that much difference as a politician, as a leader. Okay. So yeah, again, emphasis on education. Okay. That's humanology's theme. It's about education, knowledge, wisdom. Just like good old Bible, King Solomon, Book of Proverbs, right? Yeah. We heavily emphasizing knowledge of history, languages, science, mathematics, whatever. Okay? Welcome to humanology. Okay, so we'll take 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Ah, yeah, I'm cooking my dinner. So some leftover from a couple of nights ago that I froze in the freezer, right? So, yeah, Mr. King, the third king in Joseon Dynasty, like 600 years ago, Mr. Lee Bang-won. Yeah, most likely he knew what his eldest son was doing. He's acting, right? He's acting stupid. Okay, he's acting drunk. Yeah, well, he was drinking, hanging out with all these women, ladies in the palace. Yeah, this guy's acting. Okay, I don't think this Mr. Prince Li Yangyang deceived or fooled his father. No, his father probably knew what he was doing. You don't want to be the king. You want me to give the kingship, this dynasty, kingdom to youngest brother of yours? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, and they did, and the rest is history. Okay, yeah, great story of self-sacrifice. Okay, I mean it's not that much of sacrifice, but kinda. Okay, because it's kingship, like presidency, right? Yeah, it's a lot to give, but at the same time, come on, they're in palace, they're not working. They're princesses, princess, they're prince in the king's palace. They got everything paid off. They don't have to work. They don't have to do anything. They just live off of taxpayers' money back then. Okay, yeah, they're princes, so their life is well taken care of anyway. But still, okay, some strong ethics and morality, right? Yeah, and that was way before Christianity first came to Korea. Christianity first came to Korea in 1800s, 1900s, okay? Near the end of Joseon Dynasty. And they were persecuted, even some with death penalty, okay? When Christianity first came to Korea in 1900s, 1800s, okay? That was the end of Joseon Dynasty, okay? So yeah, it was way before Christianity first came to Korea, okay? Like 500 years before Christianity came to Korea, okay? 400, something like that, okay? So, but still, they had ethics, morality, self-sacrifice, right? They knew nothing about Jesus Christ. We are talking about Korea 500 years ago, 600 years ago. They knew nothing about Judeo-Christianity. No, it's all Asia. There's still ethics, the virtue of self-sacrifice, morality, caring about the people more than their personal ambition, self-interest, self-service, rule against that. They more care about the priority of the people. It was not democracy. It was monarchy, dictatorship. But some Asiatic, 100% Asiatic Korean prince, way before democracy came to Korea, okay? It's just monarchy, dictatorship, inherited kingdom, dynasty. Some princes of Korea, Joseon dynasty, like 600 years ago, they cared about the people, Korean people, more than their own personal political ambition or whatever. So that's something very cool about Korean history. Okay. It has nothing to do with democracy, nothing to do with Christianity or Greek philosophy or even Buddhism maybe, Confucianism maybe, Taoism maybe. Okay, but yeah, very strong ethics, morality. Okay, so that's some part of Korean history. Okay, so, yeah, really worthwhile to mention, right? Very educational and instructive. Okay, so again, it has nothing to do with Christianity, Judeo-Christianity whatsoever. Okay. Maybe some Buddhism, maybe some Hinduism, maybe some Taoism, Confucianism. Okay, but nothing to do with Christianity or Judeo-Christianity. Okay, still very good ethics, morality, self-sacrifice. Okay, and then look at me. I'm kind of acting like Mr. Yang Young, my 19th ancestor. Okay, but when he drank, he was acting. I don't, I don't think he was natural drinker like I am. Okay, I drink because I want to. But when he was drinking heavily, he was acting so that his father would give this kingdom to his youngest brother. Right? Maybe he didn't even drink. I don't know. I don't know. And he's sleeping with all these ladies in the palace. I don't fool around. Okay. So when I was running for Alaska State Senate primary in Republican Party, yes, I did dance and sing. I did drink in my political campaign. My prime political campaign spots were bars and karaoke bars and dance clubs. And not many percentage of Alaskans in the valley go to those places. Maybe that's why I lost. Okay? Because not that many percentage of Alaskans in the valley where I ran for public office 3 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. Okay, I mean it's not representative place. It's not representative sample. Okay, not many people in the valley in Alaska or anywhere in the world go to bars and clubs, but that's where I did my campaign: bars, clubs, restaurants. Okay, yeah, I did sing, dance. I did drink, but I made sure I got sober before I drive. Because after I drank and sing dance, I ate food and watch other people sing and dance hours and hours until I get sober enough to drive back home. Okay, but I did not fool around with ladies. No, not once. Okay, why? Because I was running a serious campaign. I was very serious about it. So, and people are watching, voters. So I cannot just fool around. No, I would lose my votes, right? Yeah. But some kind and generous ladies wanted to dance with me, sing with me in karaoke and dance club. And I did. Why? They are my voters too. Yeah. But that was that, okay. Yeah, I did sing and dance with some kind and generous ladies because they wanted to. Oh yeah, yeah, you're my voters, you're the boss, okay. Yeah, I did sing and dance with them. But that was that. Hmm? So why did I campaign that way? It's because I want to have fun. I love singing, dancing. I just wanted to have fun, okay. While I'm campaigning. Yeah. But I was serious about election, okay. But I don't want to be bored, okay. Yeah, I just want to have fun more than I wanted to get elected. To me, having fun during this political campaign is more important than was more important than me getting elected. Okay, so that's my attitude of life. Yeah, I write these articles, academic research papers. I care more about my happiness, joy of writing these articles, papers, more than those papers get published in journals. So I disregard their formatting guideline completely. I don't even read them. Okay. And I make write emoticons like sideways smiley face. I quote some song lyrics, make some jokes, sometimes screenplay style narratives in academic research paper. Why? Because I want to have fun when I'm writing it. I would never do it any other way. Yeah, pursuit of happiness basically. Okay. I don't care whether these papers get ever get published in peer-reviewed journals or not. Just like I didn't care whether I get elected or not in the previous campaign. I just wanted to have fun. So I went to karaoke bars, dance clubs, restaurants, and I sang and danced. Hmm? Yeah. So that's my attitude. Okay. I want to enjoy my life. Okay. Pursuit of happiness. Yeah. Yeah, the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, very well written. Pursuit of happiness. Okay. Yeah, very well written, right? Yeah. But he said what? Everybody's born equal. Well, not really. Well, maybe, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that after 5 minutes break. Okay. Is everybody born equal? Maybe, maybe not. We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll think about it. Okay, my question to you. Is everybody born equal? Thomas Jefferson Declaration of Independence. Do you agree with him or not? Okay? Yeah, we'll take 5 minutes, okay? Let's think about it and talk about it, okay? Right. Okay. Yeah. Ah, okay. Okay. So what do you think? Is everybody born equal? Like Mr. President Thomas Jefferson said in the Declaration of Independence, where he became president himself later on, right? So yeah, do you agree with him or do you disagree or half and half? Right? That was the question, right? Yeah, let's think about that, okay? And talk about it. It's beautifully written. His English language skill is very embellished, right? It's not plain English. It's very much like literary kind of poetic, prosaic, whatever. Very embellished, decorated kind of sentencing. Well, he's a good writer, okay, but not one of my favorite though. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson, yeah, his sentences are tend to be too heavy. It takes too much energy to read. Okay, it's too dense. In my opinion, he thought too much when he write. Okay, when he wrote. I don't like that kind of style. Okay, my English is second language, of course, but when I write, it's more plain English, more conversational, kind of entertainment, kind of screenwriting style. Okay, so yeah, trying to rhyme, right, and yeah, witty. I try to be okay when I write, but I don't like decorate sentences. And I don't make it dense. No. Anyways, so let me turn off the heater. It's kind of getting too hot. Yeah, alcohol generates a lot of heat. Yeah, alcohol is very good for blood circulation. Okay, so yeah, yeah. They say dry red wine helps. It's good for heart, right? Yeah, it's alcohol is very in general very good for blood circulation. Okay, so anyways, so Thomas Jefferson. Okay, when he said everybody's born equal, I guess he was talking about equal rights, equal opportunity, right? That was my guess. So yeah, I mean, of course, physically speaking, in terms of money, yeah, some people are born poor in poor neighborhood, poor parents, poor household. Some people are born rich, like with silver spoon in his mouth, like President Trump or Mr. Jared Kushner. Okay, Mr. Mike Pompeo, I don't know. I don't know his background. Okay, some people are born poor, some people are born rich. Okay, physical level, money. Okay, but metaphysical level is the same way. Okay, some people meet. I mean, it is born. Some person is born into this parents with strong discipline, diligence, ethics, morality. Okay, but some baby is born into a parent, a pair of parents who are not as disciplined, moralistic, or ethical. Okay, so metaphysical assets, just like physical assets, is uneven distribution. So no, nobody's born equal. Physically speaking, also metaphysically speaking. But I guess, one way to interpret maybe Mr. Thomas Jefferson didn't quite think that deeply, but we can think even deeper than Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so let's kind of reinterpret what he wrote in this Declaration of Independence. What, what it was 1776? I don't know. I'm not good at memorizing years. Okay. So, yeah, in law, yeah, when it comes to constitutional rights, yeah, equal opportunity, equal rights, due process, right? So, no matter how poor or wealthy household this person is born into, maybe we should guarantee as an ideal democracy, republic, capitalist country, society, maybe we should give them equal rights, court of law and perhaps even in public education and right? Yeah, the ideal, right? Yeah, I think it's a good ideal. Equal rights, equal opportunity. It's a good ideal, okay? But it's not real though. Okay? Why? Because if parents, if they have more money, they can send their kids to private schools, right? Yeah. And get them better educations, maybe tutoring, okay? Yeah. Even public school system, the poor neighborhood versus rich, wealthy neighborhood, right? So wealthier parents, even if they're all public schools, poor neighborhood, wealthy neighborhood, yeah, education opportunity is not the same. Okay, how about rights, due process? I mean, a child or wealthy parents, if the child gets into trouble, the parents can afford very competent lawyers to defend this child's mistake, offense, even crimes. Okay? As opposed to some poverty-stricken neighborhoods. If this child make a mistake, commit a crime, maybe public defender, government employee, okay, and they're busy because there are so many crimes. Government employees, public defenders, it's a volume business, okay? They're because they're busy and they make money anyway, fixed salary as a government employee, okay? So maybe not as good as legal defense representation, defense lawyers in private sector as opposed to public sector. Okay, because wealthy parents they can put a lot of money in their child's defense, so hire some private lawyer and pay them a lot of money in this private attorney law firm. Okay, so that they can put more hours into this case as opposed to public defender, taxpayer based, fixed salary, and public defenders. Some of my friends, okay, they have so many cases they need to take care of, and they get paid anyway whether they win or lose, okay, and they can assign so much of their time into this single case. This public defender or governmental employees, okay, they're competent, but they cannot devote too much time in this one single case. They have to evenly distribute their time and resources. Public defenders. Okay. So yeah, it's not quite equal kind of legal service. Okay, so that's the reality in American court system. Okay. Most likely any other country as well, right? But look at Mr. President Abraham Lincoln. He was born poor. Yeah, physically he was born poor, but his parents, my guess is that as a humanologist, yeah, strong discipline, good morality, ethics, hard work, diligence, emphasis on hard work, studying, working, diligence, discipline, ethics, morality. Okay, he inherited that from his parents, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Although he didn't have any money, he did not inherit any money through this discipline, metaphysical ethic that he inherited from his parents. He was able to work hard, study hard, and one day became president of the United States. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah. Let me turn back on the hero. Okay. So, yeah, my dinner is cooking in the microwave in the plastic jar. Some leftover from a couple of nights ago. Okay. So yeah. So just like Mr. G just said, right? Yeah, share it with your brothers and sisters. Okay. So yeah, some of us are blessed with metaphysical assets that we inherit from our parents. But not every parent had that. So some children did not get inherited with metaphysical assets like knowledge, wisdom, discipline, diligence, ethics, morality. Okay, but some of us have inherited from our parents and ancestors. There's an uneven distribution of metaphysical asset concept, and I already wrote that in this fifth paper I'm writing. Okay, I already did write it. Okay, I think. If not, I'll write it. But I'm pretty sure I wrote it already. Let me write a note just in case I didn't write it already, because it's very important concept. I did write about it. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. It's about sharing with others what we are blessed with. We in humanology, this version of humanology, we emphasize in metaphysical assets, metaphysicality. We want to be more like God, less like an animal, right? We want to evolve out of this animal phase, kind of like in Buddhism, right? Yeah, this reincarnation, okay, circle animals, right? We want to get out of that to reach nirvana, like to become more like God, okay? Human salvation. Yeah, I'm kind of mixing Christianity and Buddhism, okay? So that's what we do in humanology, okay? We pick and choose, we are very eclectic, okay? We choose only good parts from all these other religions and make the best out of it, okay? Yeah. Make the best out of them, all right? All the other religions, we pick and choose good parts and reject the bad parts, all right? To crystallize a perfect religion. Okay, so that's one of the many things that we do here in humanology, right? We want to make this world a better place. We want our future generations to be better than us. All right? Yeah, that's our goal. Okay. To pass on the good knowledge from the past and reject the bad stuff from the past. All right? There could be some traditions like thousands of years old, like tattoo piercing, sugar fetishism, LGBTism, criminalism, marijuanaism, or drugism. Very bad stuff whose history goes way back to the beginning of human history. Okay, we want to stop those bad ideologies. Okay, but good ones, we want to protect and preserve good ideologies, right? Like foreign languages, learning, mathematics, physics, science, history. Okay, yeah. So kind of filtering system. That's what we do here. Okay, what we do here is something very important, right? Yeah. Yes, we are doing God's work. Okay, we are like prophets, God's servants. We do our job. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, cheers. What else? I think that's about it. Okay, yeah, it's 10:30. I gotta get back to work tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, one more thing. Okay, I used to work for federal government as a United States soldier, E4 specialist, junior enlisted, helicopter electrician. Okay, so yeah, U.S. Army. Okay, we get a lot of federal holidays when it comes to Thanksgiving days. Thursday. Okay, we get next day off. Like so, it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 day weekend, right? Yeah. Federal government very generous about holidays. Okay. I also used to work for state of Alaska, state government employee as a computer programmer. We take federal holidays, and on top of that, we get state holidays. We also get paid leave days, like about 14 days a year. Okay. Yeah, so big governmental institutions, agencies, federal level, state level, we get a lot of holidays. Okay, and good paid leave days. If we don't use our paid leave days, we can cash it. Okay, but depending on some agencies or big corporations, you can roll over to the next year. Okay, whatever. But when it comes to not big corporation, but small companies, small businesses, yeah, they can afford that. Yeah, I have some experiences with small businesses. Okay, so right now I'm working in a small law firm as a lawyer in Alaska. Okay, so uh, yeah, this Thursday is Thanksgiving Day, but next day, Friday, I may have to get back to work. Okay. I don't know. It depends on what my superiors bosses want. Okay, they may allow me to my use my saved paid leave day this Friday or not. It's up to them. Okay, what's my preference? I don't know yet. Maybe I want to use it. Maybe I go to travel somewhere in Alaska by driving. I don't know. Okay, we'll see. His business. We have to take care of his business, right? Yeah, small farms, small businesses in computer programming or law firm. I mean, we are struggling. Okay, running on a very tight budget, right? It's not like big governmental institution or state, federal governmental agencies, basically paid by taxpayers. Okay, or business tax. Yeah, it's not like that. Okay, governmental agencies. Yeah, we get paid anyway, unless we do something really bad, then we get fired, right? But if we do our job, okay, yeah, we get paid, okay, fixed salary, okay. But small businesses, yeah, they don't have that kind of luxury of being a big institution with constant revenue, taxpayers. Big corporations, yeah, they're kind of like governmental agencies, okay, constant revenue, okay, big flow of money, right? But small businesses, it's not like that, okay. It's tight budget, right? So yeah, yeah. So that's the difference between government and small business. Big corporation, I don't know too much about big corporation, right? The only Fortune 500 companies I work for is like McDonald's as a drive-through crew, minimum wage, or Subway sandwich as a sandwich maker. That is the only Fortune 500 experience I ever had as a minimum wage worker, right? And that was both in Los Angeles, California, when I was a struggling actor. Okay? All right. Let's call it a night, okay? Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, alright? Yeah, God bless you. Thank you. Bye.